Hey, Jeffrey with a G.
What's happening in Las Vegas? It's Monday at 2 o'clock. You know what that means? It's Happy New Year right here on K-Bad with Vegas Nonstop. I'm your co-host, Jeffrey with a G. Holding the camera, your friend and mine, the ambassador of fun, Jonathan Scott. Enjoy the show.
I got nothing.
He still owes me a fucking stripper, by the way.
Excuse me?
He still owes me a fucking stripper.
You're still live on
I was gonna
Facebook,
say-
Bobby.
It's not here.
This is the only show where the board operator
The
gets
only show on
reprimanded
today.
for language. Hey, everybody.
The only show today.
Everyone on Facebook, you still owe me a fucking stripper.
I know. Yeah.
Not your average Monday.
Away we go.
And good afternoon, everybody. Jonathan Scott with Vegas Nonstop. It's 2017. Let's start this thing all over again. Forget about everything that happened in 2016. We're going to start it fresh. Not everything. Bobby don't want to forget about everything. And he's like, why are you yelling? I don't know why I'm yelling. It's Monday. No, nobody's even back to work yet. Joining me as usual for the last 6 years, my sidekick, my kick on the side, Jeffrey with a G.
Johnny, great to be here. Happy New Year.
G Money Vegas.
Did you ever think you'd make it to 2017?
Yes. I had every hope and dream that I was going to make it to
A
2017.
quick reminder, you still owe Bobby a stripper.
Bobby didn't specify. Does she have to have teeth?
I think that's negotiable.
There's some 70-year-old strippers. Joining me to my immediate right, your immediate left, a good friend and a hero of mine.
Yes.
Truly a hero of mine, Mr. John Arnos. John, thank you so much for being here. I know you're so busy celebrating the 20th year working with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. This man is a hero. This man does I want to say the Lord's work, because this man is really a true hero. He's helped so many families. So we're going to get to a little bit about the event that's coming up this Friday that I've been lucky enough to go to for the last 10 years, and I hope if there's tickets available, the people can still make a donation, attend, and it's going to be at the Bellagio on this Friday night, but we'll talk about that in a minute. To Jeffrey's immediate right and your far left, Marcus, I don't even know how to say your last name.
Half.
P-F-A-F-F.
Yes, first half silent.
I don't
know why.
A local cheesehead.
Ask the Germans. Yeah, the two Bostonians, two Chicagoans let me in. I appreciate it.
I know. Well, we
Yeah.
appreciate you
Thank
being
you,
here.
boys.
We're going to get to your story a little bit. I met Marcus on Friday, on New Year's Eve, whatever night that was. It was Saturday night. It's a crazy story. We're going to get to it in a minute. But we've got to take our first call because he's been on hold for a couple of minutes already. From the 1985 Super Bowl, Chicago Bears, Mr. Willie Gold. Willie, are you with us?
Man.
Hey, Willie, can you hear us okay? Happy New Year to you.
too, Willie. I can't either. I am so happy that you're coming. It's going to be great.
Well, Willie, we appreciate it. We've been going to John's event for year after year after year, and I have to ask you what it means to you personally.
Well, it means a lot to me because, look, we either were children at one point in our life. We all were. We grow up. We all have a passion for kids. I have kids. John has kids. I'm sure you do. And they're the most vulnerable people in our society, basically. I mean, because they can't fend for themselves sometimes. So an organization like this and what Canon has done with the photos to be able to help find kids. And over the last couple of years, we found 211,000 kids, which is amazing. But it means a lot to me to be able to use my celebrity, whatever that is, to help raise money for such a great cause. And we get bombarded with causes and things that we want to do in charity-wise, but to be able to pick an organization like this, to be able to loan my name and my time and my resources is great for me because I love kids. I adore them, and I want to do everything I can to help make them their life happy as mine has been.
Willie James Galt, born September 5th, 1960, former American football wide receiver, Olympic athlete, played in the National Football League for 11 seasons for our Chicago Bears and soon to be the Las Vegas Raiders. Considered one of the fastest NFL players of all time, Willie Galt was a member of the Bears that won the Super Bowl 20, was also a member of the U.S. Olympic team, played college football at University of Tennessee from 79 to 82, led the Vols in all-purpose yardage sophomore, junior, and senior, named to the All-American team in 82, still holds the numerous school kickoff kickoff return records, pursuing a career in acting. You've done it. You've been in sports. You've been in acting. You set a record in the 110-meter high hurdles in the track and field championships in '81. Bring us up to speed. What do you do now besides play golf?
Well, I love playing golf, of course, but I do basically merger and acquisition. I look for deals, and also I do find some time for corporation individuals through life insurance and annuities. And I'm looking to do something with the National Football League and players because I'm concerned about players who go out and they make a lot of money, and then at the end of the day, they go file for bankruptcy or they broke. So we're doing stuff through insurance and annuities to be able to help there, and also actors and celebrities also, and regular people, of course. But I just have fun. I like to have fun. I enjoy people like John and events I go to help raise money for charities around the country, but there's none better than this one. And it's a great place in Vegas at the Bellagio, with Canon and all the people go. They auctions. It's really a great time. Great with the CES show is there. So all the electronic people are there. It's just such a great time.
If we could just give us a few memories from those '85 Bears, what a team you were on. I can't imagine a team being any better than '85 Bears. I was fortunate enough to be very close with Double D. Dave Duerson and I were very close. Just some memories. I worked with Coach Ditka for a little bit. But what stands out in your mind from that fantastic team? We're looking at highlights right now on the monitor.
Well, it had to be from a Super Bowl. I mean, Super Bowl was a culmination of all the years of hard work and dedication that the players put into and the coaches. And Walter Payton was there for, almost 10 years before he got an opportunity to go. And to be able to have so much fun and to create the Super Bowl shuffle and to win the Super Bowl and come back and give Chicago, who hadn't won it in 60 years, a championship was just really special. And all the people the lives that we touched, we actually gave food away to needy people. We raised almost $250,000 that went to the neediest families in Chicago through the Super Bowl shuffle. It was just a magical year. And in my entire 5 years there was nothing but fun memories. And to be able to play with guys like Walter Payton and Mike Cemetery, Jim McMahon, and just to name a few, it was really quite a thrill for me.
Hey, Willie, it's Jeffrey with the G. Thanks for joining us today. As a Patriots fan, I remember that game very well. It was a little hurtful, but we've since redeemed ourselves with 4 rings and titles. What was it like playing in Oakland, and how do you feel, or what are your thoughts about Oakland possibly coming to Las Vegas?
Well, actually, you can thank us for the New England being so successful. We started you guys to be successful from beating you in the Super Bowl. So,
I don't know if I don't know if Grogan and Eason would agree.
Raiders I really enjoyed the Raiders. Being able to play with people like Tim Brown and Marcus Allen and Howie Long, and it was just a really great thing. And I mean, them going to Vegas, that's a possibility. The jury's not out yet. The league has to vote on it this February. But if it does, I'm sure it'll be successful and they'll do great. But I'm glad to see they're back. They're good for the league. When the Raiders win, I think it's good for the league because they're one of those teams that everyone sort of like or hate them. But they're really good for the league. I'm glad to see them back.
I agree with you. Football is good when the silver and black are doing well. Having said that, given their injuries lately with Carr and yesterday with McGloin, how do you feel about them traveling to Houston this weekend?
Well, I think it's going to be tough for them because they're playing away. And with the quarterback being hurt, of course, it's going to be a little bit difficult. But I think with the defense could be good enough and the running game could be good enough. Hopefully they'll be able to pull it out, and then they'll have to go to New England possibly or Kansas City again, which is going to get tougher. But hopefully they'll be able to pull it out this week, but I'm not real sure it's going to be a tough game. I think it's going to be a pretty close game.
Are there any other teams that you see out there right now that you really like that you think are going to go all the way?
Well, I think it's going to be probably, if it's not the Raiders, it's going to be New England and Dallas and Houston. I just can't go against New England. New England just looks too powerful. Brady is the big common denominator that actually is there, and he takes control, and he's just so smart. He's a great player, and he's just a really great athlete.
I obviously agree with you because I love watching my team. I'm a little concerned about the defense, to be honest with you, but I love some of the acquisitions they've made during the year, especially the most recent one, picking up Michael Floyd. He played a great game yesterday, both blocking and receiving. I believe he scored his first touchdown for New England, but I am worried about the defense.
The good thing about it is that when big games come up, people rise to the occasion. Everyone has to go through New England, and that's going to be the difficult part. They're going to play at home all their games. If they win, they play at home, and then it's going to be tough to beat them in New England. If they're away, it may be a little bit more difficult. But I think being in New England, having an advantage, I think it's really going to be tough for anyone to go in
And what are we going to do? How are we going to fix the Chicago Bears?
We don't have much time. We don't have enough time on this radio to talk about that. It's one of those things where, on any given Sunday you hear that.
Yeah.
Not so much the case, but I think they have pieces of the puzzle that needs to be taken care of. Offensive line, of course, and a better quarterback play, of course, always, and the defense has to build it back up. But they're in total rebuilding, and I'm of course wishing them success because I like the Bears from Chicago. Chicago's such a great city and needs a great team, but it's a rebuilding situation. It's a work in progress.
Willie, John Arnos and I were talking earlier on the phone, and we're gonna jump off and change subjects just a little bit here to talk about our city of Chicago. Did you grow up in Chicago?
I grew up in Georgia, but then I was in '83, so I lived there for 5 years. Love the city. It's probably the best city in America. It just gets too cold, but it's a real city, a real people, a real downtown. It's just amazing. I love it. I was just back there a couple months ago, and I just loved it.
Well, yeah, we hung out and we had a great time. But John and I were talking earlier this morning about the serious problems that are going on in Chicago, and it's beyond reproach. I mean, over 730 homicides, 30 since New Year's Eve. And John and I were talking from the perspective of the children, and we talk about what he does with the foundation. These kids are being exploited, and there's no quick fix down there, but something's got to be done.
When people are hopeless, they have no hope, then they tend to do things that are not the norm. And I think in our society, sometimes people give up hope because they see things that they can't have and they want things they want to try to live. And it's just a difficult time, and we have to teach people that they can't go that direction, they have to go the other direction, they have to work harder and try harder and figure it out. But it is a difficult situation, and hopefully it'll resolve itself, but it's not going to resolve itself by itself. We have to do something. We have to create jobs. We have to make sure that people have hope, people have goals, and be able to know that they can achieve things. And that's what life is all about. Is that it's not what you have, it's what you can get and what you can give to people.
Well, what John and I were talking about is really comes down to education. So, we're going to put a little task force of our own together and try and make some change in Chicago because nobody seems to be. I watched 60 Minutes last night, and the story was all about Chicago, and the captain of the Chicago Police Department kind of threw his hands up in the air, saying, "Well, we don't know what to do. If it's a 911 call, we'll answer the 911 call, but we're not going in there." So, John and I agree that it has to come down to education. At the end of the day, people need to be educated. Something has to, whether the National Guard or something has to happen to make this problem go away. Because if we think that we can fix the problems in Afghanistan and in Iraq, when we can't fix the problems in Chicago, there's a problem.
You're right. You're absolutely right. I agree 100%. Yep.
Well, we did jump off a little bit from our usual fun and frolic and football. But John, anything you want to add to Willie? We appreciate you calling so much.
Well, getting this guy Willie to come to our event was just fantastic. And I've said it before. This guy comes and he just does it all. Hey, buddy, I love you. That's all I can say. That's all the same thing, my friend. Absolutely.
For our kids, I appreciate what you do for our community. And, count me in. If you need me in Chicago, I'm there for you, buddy. You know that anytime you need me, you have my number. You have my private number like the bat line. You have that.
Thank you very much. It's funny. You started with us from day one. I think we're celebrating 20 years, and I think you were one of the first to come aboard and come to Las Vegas during Comdex, spend some time with a lot of our people, and you talked to them, and you sat with them, and you talked about sports, and you did all the things, and you were there for the kids. And you know what? I've said time and time again that a couple of things in my life, I've been a very lucky guy. And when I talk about having a great wife and great kids, the one thing that I am so happy is when I started with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. And it was funny, somebody threw a milk carton on my desk. I read the doggone thing after about a month and a half, and I talked to my boss and I said, we got to do something because Canon is a great technology company. And you know, when they have all the technology to do all the things that we need to do to save children, that's who you want to work with. And I went ahead and flew to Washington, and luckily I met John Walsh, and when you meet John, he starts talking, you start buying right away. I mean, I said, okay, let us do this, let's start with a charity, let's start with a little party, let's start with a golf tournament. And you know that it's been 20 years, and 20 years, and I can't even figure out how the hell we got to 20 years, but we did. And somebody said to me, how did you do it? And I said, hey, I can't tell you how I did it, but we raised, and with the help of people, didn't do it myself, over $8 million, and 100% of that money went to the kids. You know what? And we're gonna continue. We're gonna do the best we possibly can, and thank God for Canon, because they're one of the biggest supporters we have, and they do just a great job helping us out and making us work. Yep. I'll tell you, I can't say anything else except that we're gonna save more children in 2017 and on. Believe it, we are.
Absolutely. I believe it.
Oh no, absolutely. I don't know what else I can say except that. Thank you.
I know what I could say.
Thank you.
I could say thank you to the great Willie Gold for joining us on the phone. We're
Right.
going to see you on Friday.
Thanks,
We're going to
Willie.
take our first commercial break. Willie, thank you so much, my friend. Appreciate your time out of your day. That was the great Willie Gold. We're going to take our first commercial message. You're listening to Vegas Nonstop here on KBAD 920 AM. Stay right where you is.
Market for a used car? Las Vegas Auto Sales.
They must not have done anything with it.
Does that work?
We ain't here looking for trouble.
Doesn't work?
We're just here to do the Super Bowl shuffle. Uh-huh.
Not necessarily. Did he make it?
That
He
was
missed
cool.
it. He missed the field goal.
You guys are watching the Rose Bowl?
Yeah, it was a 55-yarder. So I don't know if they went backwards.
Penn State's first possession of the game.
They need this win.
Yeah, did you see the turd that Iowa laid today
Yeah.
against Florida?
Hammered.
And that's not a very good Florida
No, it's
team.
not. Not at all.
I know. And look at Ohio State against Clemson.
That was terrible. That
First time he was shut out in his career.
So Bama Lamma Ding Dong against Clemson, huh?
Big news out of Alabama this morning.
What's the big news?
Lane Kiffin, see you later, goodbye. Their offensive coordinator.
Oh.
Sarkeesian's in immediately.
Sarkeesian's in immediately.
Oh, man.
How can that be good for a team going into a
Into a
national
national
championship?
title
Yeah,
game.
I know.
How do you pull that? I don't know.
Take Clemson to the bank, folks. Take the 7 all the way. Easy. Deshaun. And that defense is playing stellar right now. They shut down Ohio State. They couldn't do nothing.
This Kiffin's last chance. Florida Atlantic.
Well, I mean, the fact that he had to settle for Florida Atlantic is pretty
Yeah.
sad after
And
his
Italian,
career.
yeah.
And Sarkeesian doesn't exactly come in with a clean past either. He's another.
We ain't here looking for trouble. We're just here to do the Super Bowl shuffle. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Johnny remembers
Should
that.
ask Willie who taught Vince McMahon
Jim McMahon.
Jim McMahon
Vince McMahon. Different McMahon.
how to dance.
Mick Mahone. I think it was Budweiser. The king of beers. For all you do, this Bud's for
Should
you.
have been in that game against
Sign
Clemson,
up
not
for
Ohio
free
State.
wine tasting parties. And
They
Yeah,
won
I
the-
agree.
they won
Tony
the Big
Pace,
Ten.
hey,
They
Tony.
beat Ohio State. They did what they had to do. Such a crock of shit.
Oh, was it the loss to Pitt that hurt him?
Katie Madrano.
Yeah.
But Pitt won.
We still got to
at
grab a
Clemson, too.
drink, honey.
Correct.
LasVegasWineLovers.com.
Any given Saturday.
Frankie Shinta. What a joy it was with Frankie on New Year's Eve. So we're going to tell our story.
Oh, man. This is a good one.
Yeah,
This is a
we're gonna-
really good one.
Happy New Year, Frankie. 2017.
You're listening to Sports 920.
The game.
Yeah.
Back with it, too.
Shouldn't we have played this before Willie came on?
What's that?
Shouldn't we have played this before Willie came on?
Right.
Uh-huh.
I give you Jim McMahon.
Me and Vince.
Another
Picked
one.
again?
Another one.
We're just here to do the Super Bowl shuffle. Uh-huh.
Oh, man. Ready?
At midfield. Wow.
Jonathan Scott back with Vegas nonstop. That's a little bit about the 1985. God, it's hard to believe it was 1985, 1986 Chicago Bears.
I was there in 1985.
You were still living in Chicago, John?
I was still living in Chicago, and I was in New Orleans watching the Bears win.
Me too.
Ooh.
Yeah, I was there too, and I was a stringer for a radio station out of New England with my friend Ken Heineman, and I'd been to New Orleans before with a man named Jan Gabriel, who was a great radio announcer. I don't know if you knew Jan. If we're talking about Jan, Jan was famous for 2 words in broadcasting, and those 2 words were Sunday, Sunday! Daddy Don Garlitz and the Midget Racers! Shirley Muldowney and her feminine fury! Where US 30 drag strip? When? Sunday! Bring your cameras. So I was down in New Orleans with Kenny Heineman, and there was a sports guy in Chicago named Tim Weigel. Remember Tim Weigel?
Sure.
Weigel's Wieners.
Yeah,
He would do all the bloopers. He was on ABC TV, Weigel's Wieners, and Tim Weigel. It was about 2 in the morning.
I'm
We've been
guessing
drinking.
those weren't Viennas.
No. Well, have you been to New Orleans to the French Quarter?
I have not.
They've got these long football hot dog trucks where they sell the hot dogs right out of a giant hot dog.
Sure, makes sense.
Well, some drunken idiot knocked the hot dog truck over, and there was hot dogs all over the ground. And I've got a microphone in my hand. It's 2 in the morning. We've been drinking all day. I go, and Tim Weigel's there. I said, Tim Weigel, Weigel's Wieners. What do you think's going to happen here? And Tim Weigel looks at me without missing a beat. He says, this guy's so effed up he can't even get his wiener out of his pants. The cops were handcuffing the guy for knocking the hot dogs all over the street. But it was a great time in New Orleans, and those 85 Bears were just
Absolutely.
amazing.
Well, what about the Cubs, baby?
It was an unbelievable year for them.
Was that the best game? One of the best games you've ever seen
That was
in your 82 years?
Yeah, I was ready to kill the coach. When he took that guy out, and then he took brought the
pitcher?
other guy in, and then he took him out.
Took Chapman
and he brought
out.
the other guy in and took him out. And I'm sitting there and I'm saying, don't do this. They win by 1 run. Wow, man.
Shout out to our buddy Mike Bryant, Chris's
God.
dad. He's on with us all the time. We've got to get Chris on the radio with us. But the look on Chris Bryant's face on that last out was just, that was talking about priceless. That was amazing. All right, pay a little bills here. New advertiser, Simple ESG. If you're tired of being the trash police and you need to lower your waste removal expenses and you're trying to get the recycling program off the ground, you just don't have the time, Simple Environmental Service Group has your back. Simple ESG will audit your service and custom design your new recycling and waste program based on your actual needs. Simple ESG helps with outside dumping, that messy graffiti that kids put on the wall, and a whole mess of other pesky issues. Simple Environmental Services Group handles all of your recycling and waste program management. Simple Environmental Services Group, it's a family-owned and operated company serving our Las Vegas business community since 2008. See how Simple Environment Services can save your company time and money. It's really that simple. Visit their website at simpleesg.com. Simple ESG, cleaning up Las Vegas streets one company at a time. Make it really simple. You can give them a call at 702-473-1497. That's 473-1497, Simple ESG. I want to tell a little story now about our New Year's Eve. So, there's so many choices here in Las Vegas of things to do. What do you do? Well, there's 1,000 parties. I know I wanted to avoid the Strip. The Strip was just crazy. They closed it at 3 in the afternoon. So my friend Frankie Shinta came to a comedy show that we were promoting at Backstage Bar and Billiards. It's going to be once a month now, by the way. Listen for that. And so Frankie's going to be singing with his brother Joey at the piano over at Oscars at the Plaza. So I said, great. So we went for dinner. Stephanie and I went for dinner over at the Grotto at the Golden Nugget, and I had a fabulous dinner at the Grotto, and it was close enough distance to walk over to the Plaza. So we walk over to the Plaza after dinner, and we sit up at the bar and waiting for Frankie. And we knew that Mayor Carolyn Goodman and Oscar Goodman were going to be coming in. So what better to ring in the new year than be with the mayor of Las Vegas and
Couldn't imagine
Mr. and
doing it
Mrs.
any other way.
Mr. and Mrs. Mrs. Mayer. So I walk in and Rocky the bartender sees me coming in and he knows we did radio there for 21. We did radio at the Plaza and it's a great property.
We've done radio everywhere.
We've done radio everywhere. Now we're on Facebook Live, so we have fans in Italy. We really do. And so it's great. So I appreciate everybody that's tuning in on Facebook Live. So we're sitting at the bar and Rocky.
We're on the air.
And on the air. Yeah, and on the air.
Fans at K-Bad.
At K-Bad, 920. And this is NBC, and that's Facebook Live. So Rocky gets the Jack Daniels ready for me. He sees me walking through the door, and he's got a Jack on the rocks. As I'm walking in the door, Steph has a glass of wine. She looks over at this couple and says, "Hey, you two were just over at the Grotto having dinner, weren't you?" And that's our friend Marcus, who's in the studio with us right now. So we started talking, and Marcus tells me that he's a sportscaster. And I said, "Oh, well, we're on NBC Sports Radio." And he said, "Yeah, what's going on?" And Stephanie, is, being a girly girl, starts talking to Marcus's date. And one thing, listen, and she finds out that Marcus's girl is hoping that he's going to ask her to marry him that night at 12:01. So the mayors come in, we're taking our pictures. Frankie comes in, Joey Shinta comes in, we're telling jokes, we're drinking, we're having a great time. Stephanie says to me, "Can you find out if he's going to ask her to marry him?" "Yeah, I'll find out." So the girls go to the bathroom. I, "Marcus, come here. Are you going to ask your girl to marry you tonight?"
What if the answer had been no at that point?
I
Where do we
would've
go
had
from there?
I would have had another
You were going
drink.
home alone.
Yeah. This was going to be a drastically different night than the way that it actually turned out.
I knew I wasn't getting married that night. I can tell you that. I've been down that road. I've been down that long, bumpy road. So Marcus says, "Yeah, indeed." So Frankie's playing the piano. Joey's telling jokes. Joey's playing bass. We're taking pictures. We're with the mayor, Mrs. Mayor. 12:01, we go at the Plaza. At Oscars has the big dome.
Glass dome.
The glass dome that was used in the James Bond movie Thunderdome. I think it was one of Thunderball.
Sure.
One of those. So we're watching the car. I said to Frankie, "Hey, this guy's going to ask this girl to marry him at 12:01. So we drag them over. Marcus gets down on his knee. Fireworks are going off. We ring in 2017. Frankie hands me the mic, and Marcus gets his girl. And that's how we met.
I'm assuming she said yes.
She did say yes. Unbelievable that I ran into this guy because, first of all, Frankie Shinta, she was enamored with him when we walked in the door. She's well aware of his history, all right, very big in theater and all of that and music. So that part of it alone, I think, did it for her, the fact that he was involved. But obviously everything that came along with it being midnight and on New Year's Eve and the fireworks, and I think that was probably the first time that we sort of celebrate the de facto anniversary that way. So it following the way that it did.
So you won't ever forget it.
You know what? I'll never forget it, and I think that I can, not to sound crass here, but I can probably hold that over her head anytime I do something wrong, too. Hey, you remember back New Year's Eve 2016, how that worked out? Yeah, thank you very much. And thank you, Jonathan.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful. And then, of course, you take us down the street, and we get to hang with Third Eye Blind for a while.
Yeah, we were hanging backstage.
I'm going, what else could we possibly be doing? This is why I love this city, first of all. And while I no longer live here, I make a point of coming back every 3 months because inevitably you have a great story like this. So fantastic out here. But no, that's
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. That was fantastic.
So yeah, we saw Zoe Bowie was playing at the Third Street stage. I don't know what I'm talking about. Third Street stage, and then my friend Frank Salerno was playing the piano at Don't Tell Mama, and then we rolled into backstage bar and billiards, and then it was 2 a.m. and it was time to go home. So I invited Marcus to come in because he's a sportscaster. So let's talk a little bit.
Tell us what you do in Green Bay.
Yeah, so first of all, thanks for letting me in. I said that at the outset, but it's just like, this is a lot of Chicago sports. I love it. And a lot of...
We didn't know
Boston
that we
stuff
were
gonna
getting
get
in,
as well.
quite honestly.
Yeah, right. So you welcome this cheesehead in. Thank you very much. No, but I cover the Green Bay Packers with regularity, so looking forward to going up to Lambeau Field this weekend when they take on the Giants, obviously. But we cover Wisconsin sports in general at my station, so Brewers, Badgers, all that.
You were
fun
happy
stuff.
to see Wisconsin win today?
I was thrilled to see them beat Western Michigan. That wasn't exactly the matchup that had people thrilled in the state.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Western Michigan should be very proud of the way they played today.
They played very good football.
They fell behind early,
Yep.
14-0, and they hung right in there. They only lost 24-16.
Yeah, it was a tight game in the second half for a while. I thought it was going to look like the Big Ten championship game all over again.
Exactly.
Now, I have to tell you that we do have a Packer hangout here in Las Vegas. I don't know if you know it or not.
Oh,
But
Big
Big
Dog's
Dog's
Draft House, no
Big
doubt.
Dog's Draft House
Yep.
at Rancho and Craig. You could get as many cheese curds as you want. There's over 45 different kinds of craft beer.
How about the walleye?
Fresh walleye flown in every day
Yes.
from Wisconsin, where you can smell the fresh dairy air. We'll go there one day for lunch, John. I know we keep year after year. I can say we're going to go lunch, and then the years just keep going by and by and by
Why
and
don't you
by.
take the guy to lunch already?
Because he's so busy, I can't keep up with him.
Come on, take the guy to lunch.
I would love
Get him
to
a
take
cheese
John.
curd.
So yeah, so they have Packer games over at Big
Big
Dogs.
Dogs.
Yeah,
Awesome place,
that's
yeah.
the Packer backer place to go. And
So who do you cover the Packers for?
WSCO, the score 95-3 the score out
Okay.
of Appleton, Green Bay.
So I'm curious your thoughts on this weekend's game.
Well, history's not on their side right now. 08 and 2010, the Giants came to Lambeau Field and won. Now, that first matchup was when Brett Favre was still the quarterback, and that's ultimately what led to the soap opera that was. And then, obviously, 2011, not so good either in beating them. And
Not-
winning them
not
with
for
it-
me either.
Yeah, right, exactly. So
Either year.
Yeah, the Giants got it done in so many ways. So this season, though, Eli Manning, he doesn't look like the same quarterback right now that we've seen in years past. I feel pretty good. I see the Packers
not
are
happy at home.
yeah.
I've been saying that all
right,
year.
Right. That could be it. So I think they go on and get it done. They're a dangerous team right now.
The Packers.
The Packers are a dangerous team.
What
right
about offensively? Certainly, Aaron has been playing unbelievable as of late. Jordy Nelson looks amazing. Their tight end Rogers looks great. What do you think about the defense, though? That's what concerns me.
That's clearly what could eventually be their downfall with the injuries that they've been battling through. Now, Clay Matthews has gotten healthier in recent
has.
weeks and made an impact on the game. For a while there, it was just sort of a placeholder. But I think they're improving and trending in the right direction right now.
We're going to take a next commercial break. You're listening to Vegas Nonstop here on KBAT 920 AM. More with John Arnos and the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Stay right where you are.
Car, Las Vegas Auto Sales.
Sorry to went further with that, but-
Yeah, no, it was,
He likes to cut us off.
He's in a way to roll, yeah.
I like to do the quarter-hour
Start
breaks.
talking about sport, and then before you know, you're
I want to spend some time with John next.
in New Orleans.
All over the place.
What do you got? What's going on,
Well, this
John?
could end up getting ugly, too.
Oh, the chair.
Yeah.
That's 84 right
I
there.
mean, USC the last 6 games of the year. Probably the best team in college.
It's a good day when you get up and nothing hurts, right?
Final Four, you know, with 3 losses. I just don't think you can justify that after a season when you have 3
Somebody
losses.
said yes.
Even if you're playing great at the end of the year.
And what do you think of Clemson, Alabama on Monday night?
Clemson, I mean, I didn't think Ohio State was as great as people thought they were this year, but the fact that they hammered them like that, I think they got an opportunity to win this game.
And then Alabama didn't look great on offense.
No, they didn't.
Against
Crimson-
Well, now
Tide.
you're going to let Sarkisian run the show? Really?
Any Rose Bowl update?
7-0 USC.
Although they might feel decent if you're Penn State. They had 2 turnovers in their own
In the first 5
their own
minutes.
territory. Yeah.
I like a turnover for breakfast.
Turnover for breakfast.
Apple
You already had
turnover.
breakfast.
I know. You reminded me it was brunch.
It was 12:15. I go, what are you doing? He goes, I'm eating lunch. I'm eating breakfast. Sounds like brunch.
Brunch. Brunch.
Is anyone listening to us out there?
Yep.
Is anyone watching us out
Yeah,
there?
we got our Chicago friends. Tommy Thompson just jumped in. Another Chicago fan.
Did you watch both games New Year's Eve since they backed them up?
I did.
Last year, that annoyed the hell out of me.
I know.
You know, when they had those butting right up against New Year's Eve like that.
They
So-
did it a lot smarter this year.
Yeah, they did.
And I stayed in on New Year's Eve this
Yeah.
year, so for me it was great.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah.
Hung out on the couch. The
Yeah.
second game ended around 8:30.
Uh huh.
I think I had some dinner and I don't even know if I made it to midnight.
That's perfect.
Boring.
That's perfect.
Sorry. Those of us in the industry, New Year's Eve is really for amateurs. When you work in the food and beverage industry, there's 3 nights of the year that you never go out.
Well, excuse me.
Mother's Day, Valentine's Day, and New Year's Eve.
I used to stay home on Saturday nights.
What's that?
I used to stay home on Saturday nights.
Like every Saturday night?
Pretty much in Chicago, I did. I wouldn't go out till midnight.
You afraid of getting shot?
It wasn't when I was there. You know, I've been out here for 8 years now.
10 seconds.
Huh? How many seconds?
4.
4 seconds. Oh, wow.
No pressure.
4 seconds.
You're listening to Sports 920, The Game.
Do you have a list of everything that's coming?
Now you're looking for that?
Monday. Yep, we're back. Well, we're not back. We're kind of back. John's scuffling around for
What are you
a
watching
list.
that on?
Now we can talk about it.
What are you watching that on?
Here we go. Here we go. Jonathan Scott, Vegas nonstop on KBAD 920 AM and on Facebook Live. Like us, share us, like us. Joining us in studio, my friend, my hero, John Arnos, who is former president of Canon USA Business Equipment, and puts together this amazing benefit for the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children every year with John Walsh. I'm sure you've heard of John Walsh from America's Most Wanted. We had Willie Galt on the phone earlier, but in years past, I've met Rolly Fingers, Roger Clemens. I don't know if these guys are coming back this year, but
He's crossing off a lot of names.
Brian Cranston is going to be joining us this year.
Yes, he sure
Isn't
is.
that amazing?
Tell
I
us
had
that
the same
story.
reaction.
Absolutely.
Everyone has the same reaction when you say Brian Cranston, like, wow,
That is
I get
awesome.
to meet Heisenberg.
Heisenberg. Yeah. So bring
Will
your
he have the hat?
You know,
Will he have the
part
hat
of it,
on?
I just watched the whole series of Breaking Bad.
How great is that?
I just finished it after 2 days of watching it.
That's called
Every
binge
night,
binge
every
watching.
day, every night. It was unbelievable.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
it was. It
Yeah.
was.
That kid that played Pink was, the whole cast was phenomenal. What a phenomenal show. Okay, what do you got? Who you got? Who's coming?
I don't know. He's
Yeah.
crossing off a lot of names there.
I got Joe Rigabudo. I got Paula Tricky, Chris Rich.
Anyone we know? Adrian Zemed?
Yep.
I don't know if I reached out to AZ to see if he's back from
I
Europe.
think he's in Europe still.
Because he's in doing La Cage de
Well, he might have come back for the holidays, though.
He might have. I don't know.
Marco's coming.
Adrian, are you back?
Richard Berge.
AZ, you out there?
Jose Canseco. Man, oh, I like that guy.
He's a cool dude.
I'm going to tell you, he's something else. He's just great.
Jose
Only guy to
Canseco.
hit a home run.
Now batting.
Off his head.
Raleigh Fingers.
Raleigh Fingers is with you every year.
Right. Willie Galt, of course, Robert Hayes.
Danny Masterson.
Danny Masterson.
Shooter.
Chris McDonald.
Chris McDonald, shooter.
Annette Moore, I hope.
Hold
he
on.
comes.
I see someone I like there. Miss Nevada.
Oh, yes.
Jennifer Lear, if you're watching, hi.
Tell you,
Jennifer Joseph Lear. She's wonderful. She's a Marilyn Monroe
she's a
person.
great golfer and a great gal.
Tricky?
Yeah,
Who?
Is she tricky?
yeah.
Who is
Paula
it?
Tricky. she's
Paula
great.
Tricky. She's a little tricky.
So here's what it looks like. Customer Appreciation Reception and NCMEC Celebrity Golf Tournament. And it's this Friday at the Bellagio Ballroom, which is always the furthest ballroom that you could possibly get to.
I was talking to John before we came on the air. He says she's going to get upwards of 800 people there.
Right.
Oh yeah, every year.
Unbelievable.
Every year.
Right.
Kudos.
Let's see who else. Jose Canseco. Raleigh
Canseco.
Fingers is always great. Willie, we talked to Robert Hayes, who I think was in Airplane.
Yes.
Robert Hayes was in Airplane movie.
Right. Right.
Right. Jennifer Lear, Danny Masterson.
Picked the wrong week to stop sniffing glue.
Chris McDonald played Shooter McGee.
McGavin.
Shooter McGavin?
Yeah.
Is that his last name?
Yes.
With Adam Sandler.
Fantastic.
Chris is just such a
Billy.
great guy. He's just a great guy. Chris McDonald just did a movie with our friend Marklin Kennedy. I think he was in Texas Rising with Marklin. Eddie Payton, Walter's brother.
Yes.
Joe Regabudo was in Murphy Brown. That's who Joe
Right.
Regabudo was. I don't know Chris Rich. Jonathan and Drew Scott. Jonathan and Drew Scott. I get your email, by the way. I'm just saying, you got a lot of girls that really want to meet you. Not me. Texas Tenors. We got Vegas Tenors. Now we got the Texas Tenors. Paula Tricky, Tracy Whitaker. That's just a few. I mean, when you go and you see that the stage is just filled with celebrities, and they're doing it partially because of this man and the great work that they do. How many lives have you saved? 230,000 kids?
Yes. Over.
Over.
30,000 kids. Since John started this with Reveille in 1984, that's what's been happening.
Is John,
And I
is John going to be there as well that night?
John Walsh will be there. John has only missed, I think, 2 events because he was out of the country.
He's unbelievable.
Yeah,
I mean, he
he-
does so many events a year for the kids. It's unreal.
Yeah, he just cares. And you know, when you talk about Brian Cranston, you know, I've had the opportunity of meeting a lot of celebrities and playing golf with a lot of these guys and everything. This guy's just not a celebrity. He is just one.
He's a regular guy.
Just a one hell of a guy. Honest to God. His wife is fantastic. He cares so much. I mean, you know, he's making a movie right now, and what he did was you just don't walk off a movie to come someplace else. You got to get permission, do all the cut things, do all these kind of things. He did it all to show up to our event, and then he's heading back on Saturday morning. He doesn't play golf, but every time he has come to our event, what he has done, he's gone out to the golf course. He's talked to everybody. He got in a golf cart, drove around the golf course, get out, talk to everybody, come back in. What else can you ask for?
Now, you're still a Bears fan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Once a Bears fan, always a Bear, even though they stink, right? All right, so let's talk a little bit about the playoffs here, if we can.
Playoffs.
We've got, and playoffs start on Saturday.
Playoffs.
Playoffs, NFL. Houston favored by 3.5, over and under 36.5 against the soon-to-be Las Vegas Raiders. Jeffrey with a G.
Well, we were talking to Willie about this game earlier. It's a tough game for Oakland to be traveling into Houston. Obviously, they're having a lot of problems at quarterback. They lost Derek Carr a couple weeks ago to a broken leg. Matt McGloin came in, and he went out this past weekend, I believe, with a concussion or a head injury.
McGroin?
McGroin.
Let's add him to my list of names with Shady McCoy.
So Oakland had to bring in their rookie quarterback, Connor Cook, who is their from Michigan State. If he ends up starting this playoff game, he'll be the first quarterback in the Super Bowl era to start his first game in the NFL in a playoff game, having never started another game.
Marcus, what do you think about this game?
Yeah, I agree with a lot of what Jeffrey said there. It's going to be interesting to see how that quarterback thing plays out. What is it with Michigan State quarterbacks, man? They're like a quarterback factory now.
Yeah.
They're not all that good in college, but they get to the league and they seem to have a certain degree of success. So, but for Connor Cook to come in and make your first start there in the postseason.
Well, that's what I'm
it's
saying.
all order.
Houston is well, first of all, this is where the Super Bowl is going to be played.
Yeah.
Secondly, that defense, I don't want to be seeing Jadeveon Clowney in my first start in the NFL.
Can you imagine if they had J.J. Watt healthy right now?
I know.
Unreal.
How's he making commercials and TV?
Yeah.
And they're having their own quarterback issues with Tom Savage.
Yep. So, and you don't know if Savage is going to be healthy or even good to go in that game. But their offense has been less than stellar, shall
Mediocre
we
at
say.
best.
Yeah.
And yet they're still 9-7.
Yep.
Their defense keeps them in games. They find ways to win, coming out of a very mediocre division with Tennessee and the Colts. I think it's a tall order for Oakland here. I really do.
John Arnos, Houston or Oakland?
This has like 13-10 written all over it.
Johnny's taking Oakland on it.
I'm taking Oakland.
All right.
Taking the points, taking
Taking the
Oakland.
points.
Seattle moved from 7 to 8. I like that movement. 42.5 against Detroit.
Yeah, Detroit, I have no faith in this team right now. Ever since quarterback Stafford dislocated his finger,
Right.
they come limping into the playoffs, having lost 3 in a row. They backdoored their way in, even though they lost to the Packers last night, because had Washington.
Can we talk about last night just for a minute?
No.
A minute 37 seconds
You
left
wanna
in the
talk
game.
for the gamblers out there.
for you that bet sports like we do.
Jonathan and I had the Packers and the under. The under was 50.5.
50.5 was the under. Minute 37 seconds left in the game.
31-17 is the score, and all the Packers had to do was run the clock out. But no, they give the ball back to Detroit. Stafford throws a meaningless touchdown with 19 seconds left.
Yeah.
And they win 31-24. The game goes over.
And kills our
and
bet.
I'm throwing things at my television.
and I immediately get a call from Jeffrey with a G, and we can't even repeat what we were saying on that one.
SOB
Why they
this,
took the
SOB
knee and they
that.
didn't beat out the clock and just let the clock run out, we have no idea if
Since
anybody
watching
does.
the game, I didn't know what the hell was going on. I see some get on the field, everybody gets off the field. And as soon as they scored that touchdown, I said there's going to be a lot of unhappy people.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
This is a tough game. Listen, this is an indoor team traveling to Seattle. Everyone knows about the 12th man there. Seattle is unbelievable at home this year. They're 7-1. They have some injury concerns of their own. They lost Earl Thomas a couple of weeks ago with a broken leg. Their running back situation has been a carousel all year, although I think Rawls is now healthy. They have a really good receiving core with Jimmy Graham and Dougie Baldwin. And Russell just doesn't lose games at home. And I don't know about 8 points. It's a lot of points against a Detroit team that has a good defense. But I'll take Seattle here. I don't think Detroit's got anything to play for anymore.
If Matt Stafford was healthy, I think this would be a fantastic game to watch.
Agreed.
But the way that he's played the last 3 weeks, the ball's just not coming out of his hand clean, and you can see that.
Unless there's 19 seconds left in the
Of
game.
course, yeah.
And you have the under.
Then he's Joe Montana.
John Arno, Seattle or Detroit?
Oh, Seattle.
Seattle, even though it's -8. All right, last commercial break. You're listening to Vegas Nonstop here on KBED 920 AM. Stay right where you are. We're going to finish this baby up.
Las Vegas Auto Sales specializes in financing.
You know
Can I
what?
ask you a
That was
question?
stupid.
I see you
That
doing
was
yoga trying to
stupid
look at the
with that.
clock.
John, you have no idea. I couldn't
No,
believe
it's
it.
stupid.
I see you doing yoga.
No,
They
trying
should
to
have
look
just,
at
they
the
should have
clock.
just killed the
Yeah,
clock.
just like-
You're right. It was just stupid.
Because you used to have it over there.
You watched the game on the
Yeah, yeah.
I can't
What were
believe
you
it.
thinking when they gave the ball back?
Who
to
uses
the-
that?
The
You
same
wear one?
thing you are. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know.
You look
I
at your
don't
phone,
know.
right?
Something like that, but
I can't look at my
sometimes
phone.
we're
You have
always
to look at the wrist.
scratching our heads.
Here, I
on
think you
something.
need to
Seems
see
like,
my watch.
Rogers and McCarthy are playing.
You
a
collect
little
watches?
nicer
Do you know anything about
together.
watches?
It does seem
I
that
don't
way.
think
know
they
they tell
like
time.
each other. Really.
I think they're
Well,
two very
you know, some of
different
the better
people.
watches
Roger seems to be a
have
real
a skeleton on the back of them.
prima donna.
I think you
He
need
is
to
at
look at
times.
that.
He is, and it's
That's lovely.
weird. McCarthy goes
You're
on.
not
to
looking at it.
Smart ass kind of
I'm
way.
not
He is.
blind.
Oh,
I
he
couldn't see that
definitely
if I
is. He
had
thinks
to.
he's the smartest
Take
guy.
your
in the
glasses
room. But a lot
off
of
and
times
look
he
at it.
probably
Well, that's gonna
is,
help.
but he goes out of his way to let you know.
I can see him
that
being
he's
the most
incredibly
talented.
right.
I don't know about the smartest.
Oh, that's
Yeah, I
lovely.
heard you know, the feature of him and Favre early on in their relationship.
I would think there would be more
Perlman's book
motivation
at
to
all.
look at
Yeah.
your watch.
I had Perlman on the
Grandpa?
show, and he was, yeah, he was. It was an interesting.
How do you do that to Brett Favre?
I have no idea, but he denied it. Rogers did in his weekly session later that week.
What do you think? Knowing him the way you know him now,
I think,
why would Favre make it up?
I
Why would Perlman make it up?
no, exactly. Well, Favre didn't talk to him for the book. Who told him that? It was third string quarterback was kind of his go-to source at the time.
Sure.
I don't remember who it was. Can't remember the name, but I could easily see it happen.
Copernic.
It was not him.
He
Pumpernickel.
calls him Colin Pumpernickel.
1 minute.
But yeah, Raj is just, I don't know, even in his press conferences, RELAX.
There's always a little smirk and a little.
Who are you talking about?
Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, Aaron Rodgers?
I don't like the guy, man. I just don't. He doesn't
No?
seem like he's a leader
Oh,
on the field.
I can totally understand why he
He's
would.
a big crybaby. He's always like pouting. I don't know, just he doesn't do it for me.
Well, that's why it was easy to pile on when they went through that 4-game losing streak and come after.
And
him.
yet, look at the numbers he put up this year.
Yeah, I know it's absurd.
He's so talented. I wish he took his responsibility as a leader and a captain the same way as much as he was talent-wise.
Marcus, did
Right.
you share us on Facebook?
Oh, I should.
Oh, I don't think I did either.
What the heck?
I don't
you
get
guys?
your updates.
Well, you should
anymore.
have it now.
No, but usually I used to get a pop-up that said Jonathan.
I know.
Facebook's one of our biggest donator to the National Center.
Look, John, you're
Who is
live
it?
now.
That's awesome.
Who?
Facebook.
Facebook is? That's great. I could go do Facebook Live from
Yep.
Friday night.
Yep.
You're listening to
thanks.
Sports
Fabulous.
920, the game.
They had a big article about all the quarterbacks.
Yeah.
You know, the number of points they scored, et cetera, et cetera. And Terry Bradshaw wasn't even listed.
Different era, I guess. You're not throwing the ball nearly as much.
I don't know. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it was really he wasn't.
Let's go
listed.
back on the air. What do you say, guys? Jonathan Scott, Vegas, non-stop Monday, 2017. We've got playoffs ahead of us on the NFL. Just a reminder, we've got the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Are there tickets available, John? Can people still buy tickets?
No, we're sold.
Oh, they're sold out.
Sold out.
So you're just being here for me. I appreciate it.
I'm being here to tell everybody that you know, if you're gonna want to make a donation to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, call 1-800 the Lost.
Yeah,
Say that
we're-
again. 1-800
100 the Lost.
The Lost.
the Lost.
L-O-S-S.
THELOST.
Correct.
So even though you can't make the dinner as it's already sold out, if you do want to make a donation, that's 1-800 the Lost.
Now, we haven't talked about our wine club at all, and we totally forgot about
Because
it
you've
on
been
Friday.
drinking too much wine.
The holiday hours have to be over, or my liver's going to blow out.
I think you said to me at some point last week, I've been coming in around 4 a.m. for the last 5 nights.
I've been going to sleep at 5 a.m. every night last week at 5 a.m. One night I just went home and watched the new Godfather epic, which goes for like 7 hours.
Yeah.
Did you watch it, John?
It's
Watch
all
it.
I watched it.
Oh yeah, it's phenomenal. It's scenes that you've never seen before. Okay, so playoffs a little bit, and then the wine club. I'm kind of skipping around. We're gonna do a wine
Football,
tasting.
wine,
we're gonna do a
wine,
wine
football.
tasting with Jimmy Mack over at La Jolla Beach and Tennis Club. at the end of January. So if you're interested in wine, if you love wine, if you want wine delivered to your house, you go to VegasWineLovers.com, VegasWineLovers.com. And there's information how you can get 2 bottles or 4 bottles shipped to your home every month, just like Christmas. You get some new wine over at the house, or you could join our wine business and have a little business of your own. And if that's the case, then we would invite you to join us in La Jolla. I think it's going to be January 29th at the La Jolla Beach and Tennis Club. Okay, back to the playoffs. Back to the playoffs. Or you can call me at 702-883-1111, 883-1111. We've got on Sunday, Pittsburgh versus Miami. 10 points. Over and under 47. Jeffrey with a G.
That's a tough game for Miami to go into Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is playing unbelievable right now. Just like the Packers, they're probably the hottest team in the AFC other than New England. They're coming in winners of 6 in a row. And they're just looking great. They even rested all their starters yesterday and they still won. You have the big three with Big Ben, Le'Veon Bell, and Antonio Brown, and that is a lethal combination. Now, Miami has played really well this year. They actually have a better record than Pittsburgh. They're 11-5. 10 points is a lot. I don't like that line at all, and it could be probably, 10 degrees in Pittsburgh on Saturday.
You're saying grab the 10 points while you can?
I like the 10 points, even though Pittsburgh's offense is explosive and can put up points like that. I think Miami can hang in there. The problem is that if Tannehill's not healthy, they're going to have a hard time, but they can control the clock in the game with Jay Ajayi on the ground, which I do give them a little bit of an edge there.
Yeah, I feel like I'm echoing a lot of what you're saying, but spot on.
Disagree with them. It's better radio.
Right, well, let's point this out. Miami, Adam Gase has to be considered a Coach of the Year candidate, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, with where they were at, 1-4 and bouncing back to be
Along
a playoff
with Del
team.
Rio, probably.
Yeah, no, absolutely. In Oakland, no question about that. But to be able to do what they've done is fantastic. Now, I like you think that 10-point number, that's awfully large, but Pittsburgh was my preseason pick to make it to the Super Bowl. There was a string of weeks in the middle of the season where that didn't look so hot. But they, much like Green Bay again, and it's perplexing because I don't know what changed, but they figured some things out along the way, certainly offensively, and they look like a team that, especially given their pedigree and what they've done in years past, if anybody's going to challenge New England, they at least know what they're doing this time of year.
Pittsburgh.
Yes.
Absolutely. The other thing is that these two teams played earlier in the year, and Miami won that game in Miami. I believe 30-16 or 30-14. Jay Ajayi had 200 yards on the ground. So they know how to beat these guys. They've seen them before. I just don't know how healthy Pittsburgh was in that first meeting.
So you're taking Pittsburgh.
I'm taking Miami in the points.
Miami in the points.
I will do the same.
Miami in the points.
Miami.
Johnny's taking Miami as well. Okay, the last game on Sunday.
And the
Green
best
Bay
game-
Packers.
Yeah.
And is it? Oh, it's 4.5. Still 4.5.
Yes.
Against the New York Giants at Lambeau.
The
frozen tundra of Lambeau Field. Marcus, got to start with you. It's your home turf.
Yeah, well, with the way Green Bay's playing right now, the last few weeks offensively. And look, there are years past where they've been a big play, quick strike team, hitting Jordy Nelson over the top for these enormous,
In
putting up-
overtime for 60 yards.
Right, exactly. But they've done it different ways this year. There have been a lot of quick hitters. They've eaten up a lot of the clock. The time of possession has been in their favor, and that's what leads me to believe that this year they're going to deviate from what recent history has suggested, with the Giants coming in the last 10 years now and having taken 2 playoff games in Lambeau Field. I think Green Bay wins this one. I think they take it by. I'm going to say they win it not only outright, but they will win by 6-7 points here.
So they're going to cover the 4.5.
They will cover the 4.5.
I'm going to go with the Giants here. You can't mess with Big
Really?
Blue. Yeah, you can't mess with Big Blue in the playoffs. They just somehow come together. And even though their defense isn't what it used to be, JPP, I think, is out for the year. But you have to be able to get some pressure on Aaron Rodgers. They do have Rashad Jennings. They can keep it on the ground. And when you have a guy like Odell Beckham Jr., who's a game changer, he keeps you in those games.
And a
So
great haircut.
I see this being like a field goal game. I think the Packers pull it out, but I think the Giants stay in there with them.
2 different teams, by the way. These teams met in week 3 of the season? And they did at Lambeau Field. Green Bay took care of business then. But remember, at that point in time, we were all saying, what's wrong with Odell Beckham Jr.? I mean,
And what's wrong with Aaron Rodgers?
Exactly. So 2 very different teams at this point. But I still think they cover Green Bay then.
They did. They faced each other in October in Green Bay. It was a 23-16 game, low scoring.
John Arnos, Green Bay or Giants?
Green Bay.
Taking the Packers.
Oh, yeah.
Even though coming from Chicago,
Oh, yeah.
we're not real Packers fans out of Chicago. Okay, so recap. Jeffrey with a J, Packers. Oh, no, you like Giants.
I'm taking the Giants.
Giants,
4.5.
Pittsburgh.
Giants, Dolphins. He pays such
See
good
ya.
attention.
Yeah, I know. 4 big. I want to thank Willie Galt for joining us, the great Willie Galt. I want to thank my friend and hero, John Arnos, again, for everything he does, not just today, not just on Friday, but all year round. This man is committed to saving lives. And we're going to spend more time together talking about Chicago. I know that we're going to have more conversations about that. Marcus Fifth.
Thank you, guys.
Congratulations again.
Thanks, Marcus.
I appreciate
Jeffrey
it.
with a G, as always, thanks for hanging out. I want everybody, if you see us out there in the streets, make sure and say hi to Jeffrey, but not to me. I'm very busy. Hey,
Leave me alone.
remember,
I'm in a meeting.
I'm in a meeting. Eat well, party hard, my friends, and enjoy yourselves. Be nice to one another, and we'll catch you on Friday. Tune in on Friday at Facebook Live, and again, be good to yourselves. Eat well, party hard. Jonathan Scott, peace out.
Happy New Year to everybody.
Hey, thanks for letting me hang out with you guys.
Absolutely.